The other day in the Cyclekart Workshop, I realized I have a bunch of chores to do. There's work to do on every car. So I figured I'd better get to it. Well, when you own 3 cycle carts, there's always some kind of work to do on them. So the Thomas Racing Stable has returned from Titan up in Washington, Titan 3, and from the Targa Maria. So the cars did well, but I ended up breaking a strut, a radius rod. It's just wedged in there right now. Here's where the weld broke. And then there was a tube. This tube, that threaded rod was inside the tube, and it broke off. So as it turns out, I have a couple extra ones here. I got to clean up the rust. And then I'm going to weld this back on. Otherwise, this car is unscathed, performed well. Came in second in the Gordon Bennett race. That was 17 miles of racing, flat out, so I was real pleased. So this video, we're going to have just incidental things that are going on around the shop here, keeping the cars up. Okay. The monocar has returned triumphant from the Titan race, winning the Gordon Bennett. It needs a good cleaning. Didn't do too well in Targa Maria because I've got street tires on. It was we were out in a muddy orchard up there on Vashon Island. But she's running good. Nothing broke. I just got to do some regular maintenance, get it all cleaned up. So after I finish work on the Beamer, I'll do some work on this one. I'm going to be starting my 4th car here pretty soon, and I rounded up a set of these vintage Cartco rims the guys in Scottsdale are selling. So I'm pretty excited about this, having some brand new rims made with Honda tooling. I have 2 fronts, 2 rears. And then I'm going to match them to the Cartco, vintage Cartco hubs, which I have on the monocar. And they perform very well, so I'm happy with those. I also have them on the old number 27, and they're working out well too. I haven't converted the Beamer yet. And then on my 4th car, I'm not going to use the go-kart spindles. I'm going to use the vintage Cartco spindles because they're designed for a cycle cart work. These spindles are really designed for a go-kart, and the cycle cart, it's just a bigger machine and there's more load. And, these aren't bushed, so they're inherently sloppy. So the Cartco spindles, they have a bushings in the kingpin, and then they have really nice bearings on a 5/8 axle, so there's just no slop. But these have performed well. This is in its 2nd season of racing, and Old Blue here is in its 3rd season of racing. So all the cars have some kind of a patina on them now, so just trying to keep them up, keep them fresh. Alright, I'm going to get to work on this little radius rod. I cleaned up this other one that I had. It's all ready to go. So I have to grind off this old weld right here. So let's get that taken care of. Well, I finished welding it. So, I think it'll be alright. It's cooled off now. Nice and firm. So I have to put the Heim joint back on. But I'm going to have to wedge a 1x1 in here, which is what I did originally when I set it up, so that I know the front axle is plumb again. Then I can get this length correct here. Then I'll shoot some black paint on it, and that repair will be done. Okay. I want to drive around the house this weekend because the weather's finally starting to cool off. So I started it up earlier. Runs fine. So this is the only issue right here. Almost done. I think I'll call this one done. Let's say the repair is adequate. I just got to shoot some black paint on it, which will take me all of 5 minutes. Okay. Glad that one's over. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. Okay, so this car is pretty much ready to go. Those of you who followed me while I was building this thing know that this is a piece of honeycomb, resin impregnated paper. So I spray painted it black ultimately, and then used the stencil to get this 35. But now that I've raced with it, you know, one of the pitfalls is that mud and stuff gets inside these little honeycombs here. So I have to develop a technique for getting that clean. Fortunately, I can dip the whole thing in a basin of water because it's thoroughly impregnated with resin. So maybe I can use a soft bristle brush or something and get those passages clean. So, because I'd like to keep using this. It's lightweight and it looks like a radiator. So, okay. So the last thing to do here is just shoot some paint on it. So I did a little masking. And I have a little cardboard shield I'm going to use, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat of black paint. So let's get that done right now. So just put the shield in here. Try to be careful. On my other car, this was all automotive paint, but I ran out of time getting this car ready, so I went with just rattle can on this chassis anyway. Okay, get underneath it here. Alright, I think that'll fly. Let's see here. Yep. It's alright, I think. Okay. Now it's officially done. Okay. And one quick look now that the masking's off. Alright, I'm pleased with that repair. It's as good as new. Okay, on to something else. Well, it's just about dark here in the Cyclekart Workshop, but I just finished giving both carts a bath. Got them washed. So they're looking much better. So while washing it, I was able to see if there was anything that needed attention, and number 27 looks good, but the monocar needs a little bit of work. I've got to do something about this gas cap because gas comes out of there. I put a new gasket, but it's ruining the finish. So maybe a new gas cap. I got a few parts that I got to put on. Got to put the windshield back on. This badge, the spot welds broke from the factory, so I got to put that back on. And then my rear bumper fell off, so I got to put that on. So a couple little minor things to get her looking good again. Alright, what else is there to do? When we were racing up on Vashon Island and we were out in the muddy orchard, we locked up both rear wheels to get any kind of traction. But for just general driving around, if you have both wheels locked up, you just the steering is seriously affected. So just real quick, I'm going to pull the key out of this wheel and get it back to a freewheeler. Okay, so got to take off the locking collar. Okay, now I gotta jack it up. Want to see if I can get the key out without taking the hub off. It's sticking out just a little bit here. Let's see, I gotta get some vice grips. Okay, so let's see if I can work it out of there. Otherwise, I gotta take the hub off. Maybe I can get it. It's not in there very far. All right. Okay. So now it's freewheeler, job done. Okay, so now it's back to being drivable. Okay. Okay, I have a couple of chores to do on the monocar. One is put this windshield on. I take it off when I'm hauling it with the trailer. Let's get this steering wheel out of the way. Okay. Roll it back on. I really need to find a way to glue this on better. It's always a little loose here at the ends. Okay. That'll do. Okay, next I gotta remove the keyway so that this will be a freewheeler again. Right now they're locked up because I was racing up there in the orchard in Washington. And then I have to work on what's going on here. I'll figure that out in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to install my rear bumper. This is one of those annoying little things that every time I get it out and run it hard, this falls off. So at some point, I gotta come up with a more robust arrangement. It's just held on with set screws. And it works for a while. But then there's just too much vibration. Okay. That's taken care of. So next I have to remove the key so that this becomes freewheeling again. So I'll loosen the locking collar here. Okay, jack it up. Okay, let's see if I can get it with the vice grips. Just wiggle it out of there. I put it in there when I was up at the races in Vashon. So I didn't get it in there very far. Didn't have the right tools. It's coming. The BMW one came out a lot easier. The locking collars with it. Yeah, I might just have to take that completely off. Okay. There we go. Well, I got this one in there good. Hang in there. There we go. Yeah, I can feel that's pretty dry. I lock this. It's free wheel, but it should be smooth. See, we were up there running in the rain. This got quite a bit of moisture in it, so I'm going to take this apart here and put some grease in there. I can tell it needs. Hear that? A little sloppy too, but all right, that needs a little R&R. Okay, I'm going to get you in a little closer here to see how I take this apart. This is the rear hub setup from Vintage Carco. So I'll take it apart and show you how she works. Yeah, we went on a drive around the island up there, quite a few miles, a whole group of us, and it was raining pretty much the whole time. So this got flooded with water. These are 1/2 inch size here. They're grade 8 bolts. They're on there. Okay. So this car competed in 2 races this summer, and it took a severe beating, thrashing the crap out of it actually, and it held up pretty good. Okay, so here's the anatomy. Get these out of here. This might not come out of there, but there's a plate here. And there's a plate here. And then those bolt into this. And see, this nut has worked its way loose, so see, this is too sloppy. So I need to put grease in there, snug up the nut. And you know, this whole setup here with the freewheeler on the axle, there's inherent wear you're gonna find out. It's just one of those things. They get a little sloppy, you just keep the grease in them and they seem to hold up. You know, it's the power wheel that takes the abuse. If the spokes are going to get loose or anything's going to be a problem, it'll be on the power side. This just goes along for the ride. Okay, it looks like it will come out. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Okay, so that's 1/4 inch steel. These are laser cut, so that they're nicely precision made. And the holes line up. There's some existing holes in these hubs, and they get opened up to 5/16. And so that's really nice. So I'm happy with these. Yeah, this side'd be hard to get out because I painted it. So anyway, I gotta take this off next. Oh, look at that, came out. Good. So you can see it's regular rear hub. And that slips on, lines up with the holes. Nice, straightforward, and strong as hell. Nice and stout. Alright, I gotta work on that axle nut now. Okay, let's service this hub. I'm going to take off the hub and clean off all the old grease. Re-grease it. Okay, you need a pipe wrench to keep the axle from spinning. You know, it's a nylock nut, stop nut. There, it's coming. Okay. Okay, I put a little WD-40 in there. It's wanting to be a little stubborn. Yeah, I think it's just dirt and grit built up. So anyway, you can see the hub. On it. Okay. Alright, you just tighten the nut to whatever you think is right. It'll be a little bit sloppy. That's okay, it's a freewheeler. Alright, so it's always a little bit sloppy on the axle, but that'll work fine. You're okay. So I had this problem where the gas would work itself past the gasket through the gas cap vent hole right here, and it ate all the paint off the cap, so I put the wire wheel to that, cleaned it up. It's just bare metal. And then, you know, this is automotive paint, so I was able to use some lacquer thinner and wipe off the excess gas, and then I put a little wax on it. So it looks pretty good. I also found out when I was rubbing on it, this is just a little bit loose. Let's see here. So it won't be long before I get inside this rear cover and do some R&R. After, I don't know, 20 hours of driving, it gets dirty in there and everything needs a good cleaning and greasing. So it's about due for that. When I finished my first Cyclekart Old 27, I needed a way to haul it around. And I ended up buying one of these Harbor Freight trailers. And then, with my godson's help, Joey, he put the plywood deck on it. My buddy Brian actually put the trailer together. I got a couple of good friends. Anyway, Joey put the plywood on and made these ramps, and then I haul it around with my Volkswagen, which tows it pretty good, actually. But one nice thing is when a Cyclekart is loaded on it, it balances real nice. So when you unhook the tongue from the car, you can, the whole package is light and well balanced, and you can just push it around at will. So it's turned out to be a pretty good little setup. I leave it on the trailer for the time being because the weather's nice and there's always something coming along where I could take it out and either show it or drive it. Okay. So 2013 was the first year that I went up to the Titan Grand Prix, and I took this blue car, old 27, and Johnny Dumfries, he ran the event, so he has a 3D printer, and he made these little Titan badges, which I thought was nice for anybody who brought a car. The second year we were up there, I took old 27 and the monocar, and we got these decals for the second year. That was in 2014. And then this year, I took 3 cars, you know, the old 27, monocar, and the BMW. And so I got 3 of these badges. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Titan 2015. And then a couple months later, I was up there with the BMW and the monocar, and I got these 2 Targa Maria badges. So the Titan Grand Prix was over in Yakima, Titan, Washington. And then this was on Vashon Island in Puget Sound. So on this first one, I painted it silver and then painted the letters by hand. A lot of the guys get creative with their little badges, so I got to come up with something. So I'll paint them and decorate them a little bit and then get them installed on the cars. Okay. Okay, I'm going to shoot a base color on these badges. I have 4 different paints here. Let's see, what do we got? This one is light anodized bronze. This one is bright gold. This one is gold rush metallic. And then this one is mirrored silver. Alright, so I'm going to spray them on this strip right here as a test color. See what we get. Okay, I'll let those dry and then we'll figure out which color we're going to use. I went and got out my model paints. I built a bunch of models over the years. It's been a while. Most of these are dried out or need mixing, but these 2 bottles of blue are fairly fresh. So I put dark and light blue on the different hues. I kind of like this silver with the light blue. This isn't bad, this gold with dark blue. All I'm really after is a contrast to the letters. You know, light background, fairly dark letters so you can read the words. Okay, I've made my choice. For the Targa Maria, it's going to be the silver with the light blue letters. And then for the Titan Grand Prix, it'll be the gold with the dark blue letters. I'll put a couple of light coats on them. Alright, that's good enough for that coat. Okay, so the paint is dry, and let's see if I can be reasonably proficient at hand painting these. Hopefully it won't take too long. Looks like it's going to take 2 coats on the letters to get them to look reasonably decent. This kind of has a handmade quality to it, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect. Just so it'll look good from a few feet away. Okay. That doesn't look too bad, I guess. Well, they're not perfect, but they turned out pretty good, I think. Yeah, these look pretty good. I'm happy with the color choices. Now I just need to let them thoroughly dry and then figure out where I'm going to install them on the cars. It's been a while since we've had a look at my Cyclekart shrine, so let me show you the updates. So my newest addition is my Cyclekart Workshop sign. My daughter Nicole and my son-in-law Mikey, they made this for me, so I thought it was cool. And then I have a poster from each Titan race. Here's 2013. And then there's 2014. These are nice posters. 2015. And then here's the Targa Maria this year. Targa Maria 6. And then this was the poster for the first annual Southwest Cyclekart Roundup here in Phoenix. That was fun. Here's the poster for the second one. This is out at the Catholic Church parking lot. That was a lot of fun. And then, I'm into mini bikes. So last month I went over to the Joe's mini bike reunion. Saw a couple hundred mini bikes. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. I have my Volkswagen, and then these were color renderings, and I was trying to figure out what color to paint the monocar. And then here is the same exercise with old number 27. You can kind of see which direction I went there. And then Johnny Dumfries, he's a nice, humble guy, but he's a bit of an artist, and not too many people are aware of that. He sketched these up and sent them down to me. They're watercolors. And then for all you who are following and wondering what my fourth car is going to be, I believe it's going to be this one, a 1934 Bonneville Salt Flat Racer. I'll call it, Johnny Dumfries building a similar car. We're going to call them Lake Racers, and we're going to compete in the Gordon Bennett. So I guess we're having another build-off. So, okay, so that's the end of this episode of what's happening in the Cyclekart Workshop.